All right. And welcome to Tales of Terva, where we last left our party. They found their acquaintance Sigvald and his longship docked at the Ross Harbor. There they paid him for passage and passage to Clayshire. I can't talk. Passage to Clayshire, where they goddamn where they planned to sell off their items and prepare for whatever jobs come next. They sailed for just under a day, eating and talking amongst themselves and the hardy Viking crew. Early afternoon the next day, they arrived at the large city of Clayshire. Shortly there, they find the familiar symbol of the Dawn's Hammer Guild, to which Bovag and Valric are members. Entering the modest tent, they meet Oslith Quellen, the new specialist in the guild, determined to establish the guild roots here in the Carebanner Peninsula. An area of the guild has yet to have any permanent influence in. He's eager to have more members and initiates to provide work for, and says he will meet back up with the party after he's had some work for them later that afternoon. He recommends a blacksmith who can help the party with some questions, naming a man, Tukrid Brickbrow. He's an older dwarf who's got a shop near the Westwall Market, called the Blissful Blade. He's a solid smith, great work, and made my partner Willie's hammer, actually. And his wife Dondegret is a brilliant enchantress, wise beyond her years, and keeps old Tukrid from destroying the place. On top of that, she makes some potions of her own, reselling to other merchants in town, as well as the occasional enchanting of Tukrid's work. If anyone can help you work on that wondrous hand axe, they're your best bet. Let them know I sent you. And check back with me at the Dark Shark Tavern this evening. I should have some contracts for you. I tell you, I got a good feeling about you lot. And we pick up now. You guys are here in the tent of the Dawn's Hammers Guild. It's kind of just a general merchant shop with little kind of antiquities and stuff. Here, let me give you a general vibe of it. The Dark Shark Tavern. Dark Shark Tavern. You know it to be kind of by the southern gates of the city.
Okay. So southern gates for meeting back with Oslith, and then he said the blacksmith was by the West Wall Market.
Exactly, which you know to be the central market of the city, but the West Wall Market is considered the side closer to the bay on the west side.
You know, I was thinking, we could probably be landowners here.
What?
I think we could buy a house.
You possibly could. There's plenty of old buildings that are some are in disrepair and some are you might be able to get a decent price on, but it's a packed city. Good luck.
Now I have another question that comes from this. Is there any businesses for sale, perchance? We could maybe buy one of them and then make money from that. Come back and collect the money later.
Well, I mean, I'm at least running a little shop here. It's nothing, crazy, but we make a modest income. But admittedly, the contracts is definitely where the money is.
Ragnar.
I want to be a businessman.
How much gold do you think we have?
Enough. Enough gold to buy things, yes?
Not that much, surely.
How much does a business cost? 100, 200 gold? I don't know. Surely not 1,000.
I'm sure it's around there. I'm sure it's a lot more than that.
Oh. Maybe this would be a longer term goal then, perhaps.
Possibly, but hey, it doesn't hurt to be optimistic sometimes.
We will just steal the businesses. Somehow.
Oh, strong arm them into just handing over their life's work.
Yes.
Hey, if you can pull it off. Just maybe don't mention my name when you do it. Unless it works out, and then it was all my idea.
No, I'm pretty sure it was all Ragnar's idea.
Oh, yeah. You're right.
We'll take the responsibility.
Is there anything else I can help you with? Anything like questions? Are you guys new to the city? Any?
No, Balric and I have been here many times in the past. We can find our way.
Perfect. Well, let me know if you need anything, and we'll meet up back at the tavern this afternoon.
All right.
Gotcha. Were you saying anything? I didn't hear you speak up. Okay. All right. Well, yeah, and you guys make your way out of the tent and into the bay area of the harbor market, more or less.
Go back. Did we take care of your giant snail shell?
No, yeah.
I assumed it's just sitting outside of the tent at the moment.
We should try to do something about that while we're here.
Well, maybe this Smith or his enchantress wife will be interested.
Oh yes, I am very excited to meet them as well. I want to invest in their business. I was reading this book on the voyage here. Changed my entire life. Well, yes, I have not read many books, so, when I do read a book, it connects with me deeply.
Well, all right.
See, we will give them money so that they can be a better business, and then they will give us money because we gave them money. Big brain stuff.
You're talking to the wrong guy here.
Yeah, what do you guys want to do?
Let's head for that Smith.
I agree.
And I'll pick up the shell on my back.
Yeah, and it's still very heavy, but you've gotten a good grip, and you have it like strapped up and everything, right?
Yeah, it's like a backpack, like my JanSport, loaded down with books.
Just extremely loaded to where it's just stretched.
Yeah. But I have the chains like down a little bit, so the backpack's lower down on my back, so I look cool.
And who knows? Maybe it's working. You assume it's working. You feel confident. But yeah, so you guys start making your way down the main thoroughfare, like right down the center of the city. And you've you guys have definitely been here before, but it always seems like this part of the city, it seems like is lively and doing very well. There's closer to the harbor of the city is very kind of ramshack, and there's wooden walkways stretching overhead and kind of people hustling and bustling all around, and it kind of seems like these buildings are just kind of like expanded on like upward but never completely done, you know what I mean? But as you move towards the center of the city, you start seeing kind of a little bit more structure to it, and right on as you enter the center of the city, there's just people going all around, and you reach the center market. Let me see if I have. Yeah, I think I do have a map. More or less. This is that cartoony little interpretation of Clayshire. That should... It's actually a pretty big picture, so it should be okay, but let me know if that isn't very clear for you. Love it. Damn.
I mean, we can get a general idea, though.
Yeah, you can zoom in. So we're near that green thing.
Yeah, you guys... Here you go. This one should be a little better. I think I made this one larger. Let me see if it clears up after it. There we go. That's a little bit better. Anyway, so you guys made your way down this main road, right down the middle of it. Actually, I can do a little... So yeah, you guys were up here in the main market, worked your way upward, and you see right here is a kind of a rundown tavern, and you know, it kind of along with that aesthetic of just kind of built upward. But it looks very lively and serviceable. And Bovag and Valric, you guys realize, actually, was it? No. Actually, this is where all of you had met Will at. This is the Painful Pigeon Inn. And it's, yeah, right here towards the center market. And I'm pretty sure this is where you guys all actually met up with Will. So it is kind of a, oh, wait, yeah, this is it. And anyway, but you walk in and see this expansive central market area. But you work your way up here towards this building. The blacksmith shop that Ozlith had recommended. And get rid of these little deals.
Are there like bridges connecting the buildings above us?
Yeah,
so
some of them.
There's like a whole second city up there.
I mean, not like an entire city or anything, but there's definitely more just connections between these higher levels. Sometimes they're purely residential, and they're just houses connected to other houses, and you know, sometimes they have like little rope ladders or fixed ladders, sometimes stairways going up and down. It's just adding to the traffic, the foot traffic, different ways to go about the same areas, but not necessarily like a whole nother layer to the city, you know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah. So as you walk up, if my screen will stop shutting off on me. This is really the worst time for it. You know what? Just to be safe. Sorry, go ahead. Yeah, you see kind of a dark building, and you hear the ringing of a hammer, you know, against steel, just kind of reverberating down the neighborhood.
The Blissful Blade.
Now, do we see anybody around, or does it sound like it might be inside?
As you're walking up to it, you see there is kind of an open area, at least open on one wall, with a thick chimney, and where the you know, you do see like two individuals standing there at that entrance. You know, not an entrance, but just a little alcove, like a patio or whatever. But yeah, you do see two individuals there, one hammering this metal and the other one standing nearby.
They tell us what their names were.
It was Tukrid Brickbrow, and he also mentioned his wife, Dondegret.
Ah. Good day, Tancred Brick Thrower. and the wife, whose name I cannot pronounce. It is a pleasure to meet you. I am Ragnar. These are my friends.
So yeah, as you walk up, you actually see one shorter dwarven man and who is actually swinging the hammer, and the other person is a human, seems like a man. And he turns around to look at you. Let me pull this up in this other window instead. Sorry. Do this right here. Yeah, so the man standing next to him is a younger human man with short blonde hair and a goatee. He's got like scrawny yet toned and kind of an average height for a human. And the short dwarven man is kind of a, average frame, but these massive, thick barrel arms. And he's just swinging away at this metal on an anvil. And he kind of stops for a minute and kind of looks over his shoulder, and but the human turns around and acknowledges you and says, yes, what can I help you with? Hi,
It was Tancred.
Tucrid Brow. Yeah,
Tucrid.
Tucrid.
Not Tancred. Tucrid.
At this point, the dwarven man sets down his hammer and kind of takes off his gloves and turns and says, I'm Tucrid. What can I do you for? Hi, hello. I do. How's he been? What are you looking for? And he's very quick too. He's but gentle, he's like very like determined in exact movements, but very gentle when he's holding this, and closely inspects it and sets it down on his anvil so you can get kind of a good look. And he's like, this is star metal. I've seen this before. Yeah, I've worked with it here and there. It's hard to come by, but surprisingly malleable. But once worked, it's incredibly tough. It's very strong. It's only made from the metals dropped from the heavens. Make a nature check. Nature.
Ooh, yeah.
Or survival. I'd give you survival also. For some reason, my screen with Roll20 is... I can't see it, so let me know what you roll. So...
It's that nature roll.
All right. So finding this and kind of gleaming from its not completely natural properties, you've been able to kind of piece together stories, and you've talked to the Vikings. You've been kind of asking, ever since picking this up, you've been a little curious, and you've definitely heard it. I mean, for you've heard it just as meteors, just metal that, that has come from above and crash lands. Nobody exactly knows where it comes from, but it's rocks of metal that have fallen. There's a lot of stories surrounding it. It could be from like pieces of the battles of the gods raining down even from thousands of years ago. It could be battles of some other races that we just don't know on their worlds. And some people just say it's, just space rock from the space between realms. Nobody exactly knows, but a lot of people, it's just commonly referred to as meteors, but plenty of people, especially dwarves and elves, commonly call it space or star metal. Um, but yeah, he is he is right that it seems like I'd say it's kind of like when you run into meteorite stuff like meteorite dye or something. It's like you've heard of it and you know they exist and it has a reputation, but it's not like super super common. But from what you've heard, it is incredibly tough metal. I've just had a few good opportunities. It's I mean it's not something you can exactly plan for, the when the metal just falls whenever it wants. But I've gotten quite a few opportunities to work on it. But I've just made simple star knives and simple axe heads. Nothing. I haven't had enough metal to do anything of this mass. This is and the way this is forged, something is this is out of my skill set. I mean, I could probably work on this, but it seems like it might have some other enchantments on it. Correct? Was it magical? Bigger how you want like double blades, or are you wanting just a bigger pole to it? It just kind of depends what we need to do.
Bovek just pulls his maul out and sets it down with a thud. Bigger like this.
Of course. And he does kind of guide your attention over to he has a few like dwarven style, very angular throwing axes. There is one like longer battle axe. There's and plenty of like daggers and short swords. Not too many like bigger like and like a few hammers, but not too many like swords necessarily. Just short swords and daggers and knives, and plenty of axes and a few hammers too. What I can probably do is on this short side, I don't know if you have a picture of it at the moment, but because you have the one side which is a big rounded axe head, and the other side has kind of a short axe head, like kind of a tinier one. And he's kind of pointing to this tinier side, and he says, "If you want, we can always smelt this part down, and if we were to get some more of this star metal, we could actually make a bigger mole head. So you have a mole on one side and the axe on the other. That should give you the extra weight that you're looking for." Exactly. There wouldn't be enough here to completely make a blunt head that you're looking for to give you the weight. But if you're able to get any more of this metal, I could work with it, and I can forge this into what you're looking for. The catch is we need more of the star metal specifically because this has those enchantments, and I might have my wife inspect this also, but she's more of the magical expert. But I can assure you, to even try to preserve the enchantments that you have, we're going to need more of the actual metal it's forged from. If we were to just throw steel or iron on there, it would probably just forging it into the star metal itself would negate the enchantment, compromising the metal itself. Sadly, I don't at the moment. Like I mentioned, it's really just more the chance of when some of this hits the earth. Yeah, and I haven't heard anything as of late, but we have heard, it does occasionally hit in this area. So just keep your ears out, and you might actually stumble across some. But if you do, come here, and I can work with it.
Do you know of any astrologers or astronomers in the area?
Ooh, astronomers. The only thing I can think of would be in the let me double check its name. It is not here. In the Grand Library, towards the center, or towards the Castle Clay, there's the they are followers of Ioun, seekers of knowledge. If anybody would have any knowledge about the stars themselves, I would check with them.
There's an option then. I, for one, wish to meet your lovely wife, because I was wondering if perhaps she could enchant a blade for me.
Aye, she's probably wrapped up in her studies, but yeah, come on.
And then she can look at your axe as well, Godric.
Yeah, she might have some insight to it as well. And he acknowledges over to the human man. He just says, Simon, go ahead and take them in to meet Don de Gret. Maybe see she can help him. And he
Mr. Terdank, hold on. I question for you.
Shoot.
Now, what if we don't fuck around with the blade itself? Add more weight to the haft and to the end of the axe. That way we don't have to go gather more star metal, but we get the added weight.
You mean...
Yeah, I mean, any additions we make to the axe would require forging into the metal that already exists, and I fear that forging any other lesser metal is just going to compromise it and possibly compromise the enchantment itself. Whatever's on here is, however they forged it, it's forged with this metal probably for a reason.
Sounds like you're a pretty shite smith. All right. Maybe an elf would do better. Yeah, then somebody forged it poorly.
Volvag,
We clearly don't know much about the forge.
Volvag, have you eaten today?
Nope.
Go get some food. Yeah, and some beer. We're going to talk to the smith. You go get some food and some beer. You will feel better.
Bovag's gonna go on a walkabout.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, and as you walk off, there's plenty of aromas in the market. There's food around, all around. Fresh fruits, vegetables, all sorts. If you
Before he walks away, he's gonna pull Azura to the side and set the shell down and ask her to sell it for him. Hey, do you think you could try to sell this?
Possibly. Do you think? Now, I believe somebody said something about making armor out of it or something
Yeah,
at one point
if
in
this
time.
guy's half the smith that he thinks he is, then he should be able to turn this into something. You would think.
I mean, it's in theory to me. I don't know if it's impossible, but
If nothing else, maybe his wife could use it. I don't know.
we can see for sure.
Thank you, Azura. And then Bovag's just gonna walk out into the market.
right. We'll continue on in the forge for a minute and pick back up with you in a second, Bovag.
Yep.
So you guys walk into the building and you see another a dwarven woman with long straight brown hair kind of just absorbing some reading and kind of short or small reading glasses on the tip of her nose. For it's for a dwarf, it's hard to gauge her age, but kind of middle-aged seeming. Yeah, but she's just kind of enraptured in her reading, and the man Simon speaks up and says, Don DeGret, they wanted to talk to you about something. Tukrid sent them in. She says, oh, okay, yeah, no problem. And closes her book and turns toward you and, hi, what can I help you with?
Oh,
We all want something from you.
Of course, how can I help?
Go ahead, Valric. Oh, well, I just want to have a sword enchanted, if this is possible.
Sure, what kind of sword are we talking?
It is a finesse weapon, and I pull out my sea axe, but it's got the stats of a scimitar.
Gotcha. Okay. And what kind of enchantment are you looking for here?
Well, I don't know what you can do.
Let me see what we can do. Mm, Let's see. I thought this had that on there. It does not. So not that. Sorry, I had not prepared about enchantments.
You never, ever, ever can prepare for everything that your players
No.
will throw at you.
We will go on here.
So I had to look up how long a hook horror takes to hatch because I'm still carrying around a hook horror egg.
Oh my god.
We have a few months, so it's okay. I was like, oh no. Am I about to have like a hook horror hatch in the middle of this crowded marketplace?
Oh my god.
A baby? Hmm. I don't know.
I kind of imagine like ostrich egg size, but
Yeah. Probably not. I mean, it's Ragnar. The eggs look like rocks. My hook or egg? Oh, no. I mean, not deliberately. Probably not. So it's 3 inches in diameter.
what?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, 3 inches is, yeah. I feel like I've just been,
How have you kept it safe this whole time?
I don't know. That is a fair point. I guess maybe we should. Well, okay, so theoretically it's been in my bag this whole time, right? So I would have just wrapped it up in the bedroll. And then it's not like I fell at any point in time and
Do you,
crushed my bedroll.
do you sleep with it at night and like cuddle with it to incubate it?
I mean that would make sense. I didn't really think very much about this egg. But
Does
yeah,
anybody have a chest? I know some people's or some classes or something starting kits can come with like a chest. If any of you had like a harder container, I mean that'd be an easy. I don't know.
no, I've just I've just wrapped it in my bedroll. So I mean it could have gotten crushed and then smashed into my bedroll. Or I guess we could have all decided to eat it at some point in time. It's 3 pounds.
Oh my god, 3 pounds and it's only three. Hmm. That's a thick egg. Man, I'm having a hard time finding stuff about having items enchanted.
You don't think it would taste good? Maybe it'd be like bacon.
Right. I would just look at like the magic items list in the DMG and steal a couple of those enchantments and just pick a price.
Oh, good call. We
Hey,
can do that.
Ah,
1 million. All right.
there's like the moon touched so that it lights up at night, or like the +1, or something that like flame tongue lets you do fire damage with it. Stuff like that. Oh, Vorpal Scimitar. That's cool. So
All right. Here we go. Okay.
all right, so I definitely was and that was just a random roll. And so I definitely was able to hide the hook horrors from you guys.
Nobody knows of the horror that he has in his bag right now.
Like the darkness is spreading over my brain as I cuddle this evil egg in the night.
So essentially she would I do like that moon touch. So that is one enchantment to be able to give it or be able to radiate light from it. You can also she can essentially also do the sword of sharpness, which boosts your every time you roll a 20, it boosts it on top of that, even more than the critical. And then you roll another d20 after that too. And
Well,
then you can essentially also do that sword of wounding also. I don't know if you were still looking those up or looking at those also.
that's happens. Oh no. Well, I will how much does this cost?
For the sword, the wounding and the sharpness, that would take just a few days, probably 3 or 4 days, and I can have it done in for about 500 gold.
Okay. Well, I will take that.
Perfect. Which one would you are you wanting to go for?
Ah. So
And what was that other? Oh, and the moon touch. That one would be a little bit less. She could have that done in maybe 3 days, and she would charge 400 for that one.
we going to be here for 3 more days?
Depends on the job.
Yeah, we don't have to stay. And it was 4 days for the wounding.
Yes.
I think I would like to do that. This wounding thing, it seems pretty powerful.
You got
So,
it. She could and she'll take the that sword from you and start that enchantment, and yeah, that'll what did I say, 500 gold.
yes. 500 gold. Ah. Yes. It's good to know.
She
I-
she can kind of were you going to inquire with her at all about the enchantments with that? Because she could probably answer a little bit too. She'll inspect your hand axe also and kind of reaffirm what Tukrid was saying, that this enchantment and forging is definitely mysterious to her, and while the process is unfamiliar, they can still like see that, you know, that it was forged this way and that how the enchantments were laid across it, and it's she remarks that it's very elegant, and while a little different, she can really respect the artistry of the piece. But she would say agree essentially with what he had said, that the to preserve the enchantment, it would have to be the same metal forged into it, and then the enchantment would she would stretch that enchantment over the new star forged, or this new star metal added to it, so that way it can blend it and reaffirm and hold together properly. And yeah, she said for the intensity of the job, but you providing the metal, they could still do it for about 1,200 gold. But it would definitely be a little bit more of a process and probably take a week or so. But they could. She also says, looking at this enchantment, that she could probably, hopefully, carry some of this new enchantment and kind of boost it a little bit. So hopefully, not only would you get the perks of a greater weapon, but hopefully the enchantment might be stronger too. Yeah, pricey and time consuming, and yeah, the hassle of finding the metal, but she's fascinated by this, and she, like, while Tukrid was really like checking out the metal and the forging and everything, she's just fascinated by the enchantment, the scrollings and the runes across it, and she just keeps remarking on how magnificent it is and everything. But yeah. Any other questions?
I believe Azura had something, yes?
Oh, yes, we have, in our adventures, we've come across this large shell that seems to have some sort of magical properties or of some sort where it deflects magic off of it. I was wondering if you guys might be able to fashion it into some sort of shield or armor, perhaps? Is that something that's within your realm of possibility?
She thinks for a second. Sorry, 1 second. Since Roll20's being a butt, I'm going to open it up over here so I can make a roll for her and see what she knows. Don de Gret. Don. Let me see.
On
How did I spell that?
Don Decret.
Don de Gret is... What the fuck is her name? Ah, there it is. Dondegret. Nice. Yeah, so Don de Gret. She's gonna make a roll and see what she knows. 14. She would be able to tell you. She recognizes this creature. But from the description, are you talking about the flail snails?
I believe that's what they're called, yes.
Nasty buggers with the spiked
Oh,
flails.
they were quite pleasant.
Yeah, I'm kind of familiar with the stories of them, at least. The properties of the shell are fascinating. I know that some collectors would, and magically inclined people would be interested in an intact shell for probably a few grand of a few thousand gold. But I know you could also probably work with it too. I mean, that material, we've never worked with it before, but we might even be able to forge something with that material. How much of it do you have?
We have a whole shell. Yeah, it's right outside.
Sure, she follows you out and is just floored at its size because it towers. It almost ellipses Bovag when he's carrying it. So it's a big, massive shell, and she is just blown away at this and says, I am, and like examining its like kind of pearlescent and layered colored material and its thickness, and um, she says that she bets that uh, you know, they would be able to even forge something possibly out of this. With that much material, honestly, the possibilities are pretty expansive. She says that harnessing that she doesn't know how long that magical effect is going to last without the flail snail, you know, providing whatever magical essence it also brings to it. But she knows that it would last for a while, at least a month or two. But even then, it still would be at least resistant to some magical effects. And again, while she hasn't completely worked with it herself, she's confident that they could study and probably find multiple uses with it. It would just kind of depend on what you guys are looking for too. Armor is a possibility. Definitely. This would also kind of chalk up to roles on their part to see how well everything would come together and how much of it can be done. That's why I'm kind of being a little vague about it, but you can armor is possible. Multiple shields could definitely be made out of it. The material could most likely be broken down and used into some other things, possibly clothing to enchant some clothing. And definitely she could thinks of multiple potions that could probably be used. Stuff like the mucus, some of the hardened mucus from that snail can also be used for potions of climbing and sometimes potions of fire resistance. The shell itself could also be ground and turned into different ingestible potions too. So there's quite a bit that can be done with that much, or just outright sold for a few grand.
Well, Bovak did want to just sell it. How much is it worth to you? Yeah, you're definitely not going to get anybody else to carry this thing all this way.
Make a persuasion check with advantage. Either one of you.
You said persuasion?
Yes. 21, not bad. Nice. She kind of stands there and examines it for a while and thinks for a hot minute, and she says, I'll give you 7,000 for it. 7,000 gold.
You said a few thousand. I thought she meant like 2 or 3. 7,000? That's a good deal.
Yeah, I'm thinking, yeah.
That 21 helped.
Do you mind if I gather some samples of the residue inside of it before I sell it to you?
She says, all right, make it you can take as much of that residue as you need, but I definitely would use some of that for potions, so I'll make it 6,000 if you want to take your mucus.
The potions will be helpful, I think.
I have some still. I have 4 pounds of mucus.
Alright, well,
Don't ask why I have 4 pounds.
I think I have like a pound of it myself. Yeah, the 7,000 I think will do.
Perfect. She yeah, she definitely, she heads inside and grabs a little bag and comes back in minute later, and it is like 5 platinum and no, wait, no, that'd be multiple. Sorry, it's by 10, not by 100.
Correct.
Yeah, you got like 2 bags of like 500 platinum and like 3 bags of like the rest in gold. Like 7,000 is quite a few bags of coins, but yeah, you get 7,000 gold, however you want to do it. 500 platinum and 2,000 gold, or yeah, that's what you actually got. Sorry. But yeah, now you don't have to lug that massive thing around, and you got some heavy pockets too.
I have one more thing to ask of you.
Yes, of course.
So, I am looking for a business opportunity. I would like to invest in someone who I think will do well in the future. And then I would like to get a return on my investment when I return to this city. If I give you some money, will you give me money later?
Sure, how much are you talking?
500 gold? Let's say 25%.
I'm gonna say you can make a persuasion roll with disadvantage.
Oh god.
Oh, a 9.
Ugh. She's like, well, I like your enthusiasm, but 25 is a little steep. If you give me 500, tell you what, I'm a little interested in the opportunity. 500 for 5%.
It's like 5 gold. 50 gold? 50 gold. No, 25 gold? It's not worth it. Have a good day. And she just walks out the door.
Ragnar, we gotta.
Yes, of course. And yeah, unless there's anything else you guys want to do, we'll hop over to Bovag and as you wander around the market and do whatever you're wanting to do. But anything else you guys want to do? By the way, I finally got this open to load. That was Dawn to Grit and Cupid. He had a big black mutton chops. I forgot to mention that. But anywho, so yeah, you guys go to leave. Oh no, I deleted forward. And Bovag, you go to kind of work your way around the market. It's very busy, but people are coming and going from different like fruit and vegetable stands, but there's all sorts of fish and other seafood and meats of plenty, and there's a little bit of everything in this market. What are you looking for, or what do you want to do?
Bovag's just kind of going to be walking around, just looking at stuff. In particular, he's itching for a scrap.
A scrap? Oh, and like looking for a fight?
Like he wants to fight somebody, and he knows he can't do something stupid.
But he's looking for
So
anybody maybe causing trouble or anybody to kind of pick a fight with.
yeah, he just wants to hit somebody really hard.
Make a perception check as you're working through this marketplace.
All right, let me get to. You said perception?
Yeah, perception check.
All right. That'll be a 16.
16. Yeah, so looking around, while it's it's very busy, and there's of course like people coming and going, and there's a lot of movement, a lot of people stopping and talking. There's a lot of chatter going on, but you're just kind of walking, making your way through these people, and plenty of people are kind of parting around you and looking up at you like, whoa, like this is odd, but not as much as some of the other like mainland towns would give you that attention. But anyway, you're working your way through, and you do see like there is some people that seem to be aggressively haggling, and some people some attitudes and stuff here and there, but at the moment there isn't really anything standing out to you as far as you know people worth beating the shit out of in public without being in trouble for it.
Let's see. When one of those aggressive hagglers begins to walk away, can I it's going to be tricky. I want to stealthily stick my leg out so they trip over me.
Okay, go ahead and make a like either a stealth or sleight of hand check, whichever you want to make there.
Well, it's the same for me either way, so we'll just do stealth. Perfect. Absolutely terrible. Natural 1.
Oh,
I was
So
trying to be sneaky about it, but you know what? At the end of the day, it doesn't matter.
yeah, so as you're kind of like walking by this negotiation going wrong, and this person just getting frustrated, whatever, fuck this, I don't need any of it. And he goes to turn, and you just like almost straight up just kick his leg out from under him, and he just smacks the ground like hard, and just stands up and just is already pissed and like, hey, what the fuck is the matter with you?
What the fuck's the problem with you?
You for tripping me. I don't need everybody fucking with me right now.
Yeah, well, you see, you got dirt on my pants here. I'm gonna need you to clean that off for me.
And he like kind of kicks the ground, and just a few pebbles like kind of go towards you, but nothing aggressive. But he still like kicks towards you and goes to walk away.
Oh, I see how it is. Yeah. No wonder you're in such a foul mood. Don't have any fucking balls on you.
Make you want to do a persuasion or intimidation? I guess you're inciting him, but whatever you want to do.
We'll go persuasion.
Go ahead and make your roll.
Nailed it. 4.
And he just looks over at you, kind of scoffs, and just starts walking away.
Yeah, I guess I'll go fuck your wife then. See you later, pal.
Sorry. I turned that down. God damn. And everybody's just kind of like looking at you, but just not getting too involved.
But
He's just kind of standing there like fuming. Like, God damn.
To the pissed off pigeon. Forget what the actual name of the tavern is, the one that we first met at.
The painful pigeon, but yeah, the pissed off pigeon.
Sure.
And it's nearby, so like you just see it and just like in a huff go over to the tavern.
Yeah, he's just gonna walk in. Are there any open seats at the bar?
Yeah, at the moment it's like kind of early afternoon, so there isn't like too many people in the tavern, so there is a spot in the bar or at the bar.
All right. Are there 3 bar stools in a row empty?
There can be. You could clear them up pretty quickly. And you could sit down and just like, hey, those are taken. and they could quickly vacate
Yeah,
that.
Bovag's not particularly happy right now, so he's gonna walk up. Anybody that's in his way, he's just going to remove from his path, uh, so he can just sit at the bar by himself.
Sure, yeah. And they part pretty quickly for you. And about this time, as you guys are walking out of the blacksmith, you see Bovag walking out or kind of crossing your path. You can see, let me click over here. Yeah, so like this is the blacksmith right here, and this is the painful pigeon. So as he's walking in, you guys definitely see him, and can you make your way over to meet with him too?
He does not have any food in his hands. He did not eat. He is
He
still
did
going
not.
to be grumpy.
Probably.
So I'm gonna ask the barkeep to
Mhm.
bring me a cask of ale, just the full cask, and just a assortment of foods. He doesn't care what.
It's a middle-aged human woman who just kind of eyes you up and down, like kind of questioningly, but says, "All right, well, if you want a cask, it's just going to cost you about 10 gold."
I don't give a fuck. And he'll toss her 10 gold.
Can do. She takes it and says, "All right, I know. I'll bring that right out for you," and sets like 2 tankards like right in front of you, and goes to get the cask and the food. But pours you a drink in the meantime, so at least you have something. And if are you guys going into the tavern yourself, or
Yeah,
anything else you wanted to do?
Zora will take a seat next to Bovag. Miss, I'll take a red wine, please. And she
Sure.
will set the bags of coins in front of Bovag.
With multiple heavy thuds, chum, 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 chum. You got multiple bags. Just
You don't have to worry about your shell no more.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
sure.
Yeah.
Make a perception check.
Can I assist him with that?
Definitely.
Turn around at the bar and keep an eye, because this is a lot of fucking gold.
A lot of money. Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. Go ahead. Yes, sir, with advantage.
No, you can do both.
Oof. Dirty 20. All right. Yeah, looking around, you guys already kind of garner a little bit of attention everywhere you two go. So you walking in, you have turned a few eyes, and the second all these bags hit, there's definitely a few like, what the hell? But like nobody's making any moves, and there isn't really like whispering or anything. It's just like, damn. But none of like the negative attention you may be thinking.
What? Holy shit. All right. Well, but yeah, this is more than we've ever had, isn't it?
all at once. It's a lot. It's a hefty payout. It's probably more than you guys have ever gotten from a job alone, and you just made all that from selling one thing. Whew.
That's why I gave it to you.
Definitely your profit. But look, I got a fancy sword, and I found you some street food. Oh, yes. I don't have the fancy sword. It's imaginary. Look, see?
Work in
Bovag just
progress.
chuckles, and he's going to down both tankards very quickly.
Oh yeah. I would say a constitution check, but you can handle your shit. So you got a few more till you start getting a little tipsy, but you and shortly after you get the cask brought out too, and set on top of the bar where you guys can access it, and brings out a few more tankards and your wine also, and slowly starts bringing out some food and stuff too over the.
Well, I figured you'd be joining me.
It's appropriate amount for a celebration.
We're not celebrating anything. We're just drinking.
You're celebrating lots of money.
Well, we have to go meet what's his fuck later. So, you know what I'm thinking, Valeric? I'm thinking we run the old Clayshire two-step and do ourselves a tavern crawl.
Literally a two-step because they only have two taverns, but yeah.
Yeah, let's get fucking wasted.
I am always
So,
always ready to drink.
Bovag's going to call the barkeeper over again and tell her to bring out all of the alcohol.
All of it. I'm afraid you didn't hear me clearly.
Yeah.
I want all of it.
Yeah.
And she says, well, I'll keep your tab open, but that's going to cost y'all. But seeing these big hefty bags as she's bringing this out, she's like, but I think we can manage. And starts
Actually,
bringing.
you know what, dear? I got a better idea. Who is the owner of this establishment?
Oh my God. Well, I can get him if you need.
Yeah, get him for me, why don't you?
Y'all are gonna make me look up the how much a bar is gonna run for, aren't you?
Sure are.
Well, you know, Ragnar, you put this idea in my head. You know what? Maybe having a steady source of income isn't the worst idea.
Agreed. This is a good idea.
Not only will it benefit us, but, you know, some of the profit can go to the guild. Help Oslo expand. This is a pretty big city, right?
And there's only 2 taverns here.
It is, yeah, definitely. So, like, Clayshire is the biggest city in the whole Carbanner Peninsula, for sure. And it's like the capital town of this peninsula because it's the home of the Lord Clay. who rules it and kind of this area as a whole. But even then, Clayshire still isn't like massive, massive. You know what I mean? Um, Overall, this whole peninsula is kind of backwater for the Southern Kingdoms. It's kind of set aside enough that a lot of different races have come here, and there's a decent diversity and kind of a backwater feel to it, you know? But that's why there's still so much rundown areas of Clayshire also. Um, but it's still a very big city, and it's, overall a big city and very thriving and very fortified too. I'm double checking this info real quick if you guys wanted to do any other RP or anything in the meantime while waiting on the owner to show up.
What do you mean? Well, Ragnar gave me this idea of investing. If we invest in this business, we got to talk to the owner. We can't just talk to some schlub.
This
Well,
is
I'm
a
sure she's
wonderful idea.
I'm sure she's a nice lady. If I give her 600 gold to invest in the business, she's just going to take it and run.
Yes. So perhaps we should make her co-owner when we buy the business. Make all the employees co-owners. So then they all have a vested interest in making the business run well.
Yeah, but your dad, he was
Capitalist swine.
I don't mean no offense here, Valric, but your dad was a fucking asshole.
It seems pretty offensive.
I know, and I appreciate everything he did for me. But he could be a real what's the term the kids use? Dick.
I thought you were going to say tool.
No. I was his tool. Yeah.
The enforcer.
More like for a while a babysitter, I guess. Okay. Your 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 nanny.
So what are you now if you're not his nanny anymore?
He's my brother. What the fuck do you mean?
Just saying, you're still looking after him. He looks after you.
Yeah,
You
and
know
he
this.
looked after me. That's what family does.
So when did that change? When was he no longer just a kid that you were looking after?
Probably when he killed his first man.
Oh, yes. A tale as old as time.
Yeah. We were sleeping one night, camping out, and we were attacked. Yeah, painted that grass red.
Oh.
Yeah, well,
It's hard to clean that out of the tents. That's really the only thing you can do. Too much blood and it just stays.
I'll be right back while you guys are talking.
okay. Yeah, it was after that we took on more and more jobs. Yeah.
Then you became pirates.
Yeah, for like 3 days.
Well, you should really try it for a little longer than that. It's fun.
Yeah, well, yeah, we worked. We staged a coup. Um, then ran ashore here in Clayshire. Yep. At one point, we did have 2 ships, though. That was pretty cool.
Did you ever have to scrub the deck?
I was the cook, so no.
Did you guys see any ghost ships?
No, we saw one ship
Like,
full of hobgoblins and goblins. So then we killed them all. Took that ship, and then we got back on our ship because the crew that we had tied up had gotten loose. So we had to go back kill all of them. And then one guy jumped, and couldn't let him get away. So we chased him down in the boat, killed him.
so I'm wondering if maybe instead of straight up just buying an existing business, what if we pitch in and buy up one of these ramshackle buildings and renovate it? Maybe not a ramshackle, but
Like,
I don't know. We could turn it into
A
they only have
fighting ring.
a fighting ring?
Yes. This plays to our strengths. It's a fantastic idea.
Yeah, is there anywhere in
You can start in a basement. Call it Fight Club. Say the first rule, you don't talk about it. That will make everyone talk about it. It's a sneaky business. It's very good. It's what you call
yeah,
under the table.
but if we do that, we don't really need to buy anything. We can just fight. We can go outside the walls and just fucking fight.
But we could also own our own fight club.
All right.
Mm.
Thanks for.
I don't know, Ragnar.
So around this time is when a man comes down. He's a half elven man, kind of middle aged with slick back hair, kind of brown hair. Not like overweight or anything, but a little thicker especially for a half elf. But he walks in and says, "I'm the owner. I'm Devendor. Sevendor Dorna. And I heard you needed to talk to me. How can I help?
You know, we may not need you after all. We've been discussing possible business opportunities here, and
What kind of opportunities are you thinking about?
well, I was thinking about buying you out.
Just buying me out. Taking this place over?
Yeah. I mean, really, if we wanted to, we wouldn't have to buy it from you.
Go back.
Well,
It's not how you do business. Businessman, how much would you sell this place for?
Just talking outright selling the place of business I've spent my life building after
Yes.
coming here. Hmm.
Yeah.
Well, I think the success of the painful pigeon speaks for itself, and it wouldn't be cheap, but I could probably sell it for. Well, I guess it really depends on what you're looking for. Are you thinking of like buying me out just to take the profits, and you all run it, or would we still be running it and you come and go? Like, what kind of a deal are we talking here?
Well, you see, we like to travel.
Borsot.
So you're telling me you are wanting to buy me out, and I keep running the place anyway? And you just get a cut of the profits?
Maybe not you running it.
Ah, I see.
Maybe. We could be convinced.
We're open to possibilities.
Make a persuasion check, Bobag. Straight up, just you, normal, straight persuasion.
My keen skill of persuasion. Here we go.
Yeah, your greatest. I know it's your forte.
What? Yep, nailed it. 6.
He's like, well, it'd be a lot of sweat and blood put into this place, but I could probably part with it for 1,500 gold.
You said 1,500 gold.
I'm sorry, 15,000 gold. 15,000 gold, not
Nope.
1,500.
You said 1,500.
Trey misspoke, not this barkeep. He would know better. 15,000.
Barkeep misspoke.
So perhaps we buy we do the thing with the buying of the broken down property and building it up and be your competition. Yeah, but
We're just discussing options at the moment. We don't need to make any decisions.
No rash decisions.
no,
Oh.
but surely this man would rather sell to us than have us become his competition.
Make a persuasion check, Ragnar.
Oh my god.
I think I'm willing to take my chances. I've run this place for the last 2 decades, and successfully, might I add. And
Why
I
does
think
no
we're
one ever-
doing pretty well.
Why does no one ever listen to me? I say I do this thing. No one ever does the thing that I ask them to do. I thought I was a very convincing person.
Sure. Yeah. Us in the dark shock. That one's just filled of pompous assholes. Put themselves right next to the southern gate, and they think they're hot shit because they get the southern traffic. But we're right here by the main market, and I think we've been around even longer. So I think our success speaks for itself, honestly.
Looks a bit run down in here, if you ask me.
And it definitely does. This place is kind of like, it's not horrible and like falling apart by any means, but it's kind of patchwork. And, any
Do you call this
expansions.
mood lighting or something? Like, goddamn.
You could use the investment.
It's all right. It's not like the running down part, but it's even though it's right kind of on the edge of the market, it's still not, the greatest area. Definitely on the east side of the wall towards the castle and the mountains is definitely the higher, you know, higher end side of town, but the Dark Shark is still on the west side, if that makes sense. Here, let me pop this back over here. No, they yeah, so you would know that the Dark Shark is this tavern right here towards the southern gate. And you guys are like right here towards the central market. And obviously like this over here on this side of the wall is kind of the higher end side of town. And as far as you know, there isn't one over here, but even though it's not like that side is completely locked off from the other side of the city, there's a little bit of restricted foot traffic, and you haven't been on that side of the city, so you don't know a whole lot about it. But yeah, anything else you guys wanted to ask or do while you guys are here and drinking and feasting, and technically the owner's still standing with you?
I'm gonna lean into to Valric. We could just make him disappear. If we wanted to, maybe. Yeah, you're probably right. Yeah, you're right. I just really want to hit something.
I have an idea. We need to find an old warehouse. Anywhere. The shittier, the better. Let's go. Let's go. And he just rushes out the door.
What?
Yeah,
I'm
Bobag
sure he'll come back.
just
And Ragnar, you burst out and into the bustling market and kind of the early afternoon light, and your friends don't follow you.
Well, that's their problem. I want to look for any warehouse that's for sale. Anywhere in the entire city. I'm gonna ask people and like run around and look.
Make a make an investigation check. He's ready.
11.
This one. So you start walking around and trying to, check out different parts of the town, see if there's anything. You start going towards kind of the seedier sides, or the less, and that's kind of up in this section of the town, in the northern area or northwestern part, and you're kind of walking through, and while you don't see any like warehouses necessarily, there is a few kind of rundown houses that and simple buildings that don't seem to have anybody living in it.
Is there anything large like that we could realistically put a fighting pit in?
The only thing you can find would be this bigger building right here. That is kind of like, it's a simple like 2-story building with kind of, it is like an 8 shape, so there's kind of 2 parts of it. It's a bigger building. The doors are kind of barred by wooden planks. Seems empty and abandoned.
Can I go and look and see if it's like legitimately abandoned?
Sure, there's no like side entrances or anything. These buildings are all kind of pressed together. There is a walkway, like one of those wooden walkways up ahead, connecting like the leftmost or the left upside, you know what I'm trying to say. Connecting part of this building, but there's a few shuttered windows that are kind of locked from the inside, and the door, like I said, has a few wooden beams blocking it, but yeah, that's kind of the scene for you.
Okay, I'm gonna try to get one of the windows open.
Okay. Are you trying to be sneaky about this? Quick? You just trying to break in real quick?
Just doing it in broad daylight, like I'm not doing anything wrong.
Okay, go ahead and do you have like, I go ahead and give me like a dexterity roll. See if you can pry one of these the shutters open for me.
Okay.
Damn.
23.
Yeah, you like take out a knife or a dagger, something kind of small and nimble, and you just stick it in there and just kind of like real quick and release the metal latch on the back side, and you're able to swing open the 2 wooden shutters over this window and hop on in.
All right. I'll go ahead and climb on in.
Yeah, definitely. And you jump in real quick, and you kind of do all this pretty quick, and you feel comfortable that maybe you didn't draw too much attention just because of how casually and quickly you knocked this out. But yeah, you're in this kind of empty building. There's some simple furniture around, but the room is fairly empty. There's like a couch with a blanket, like a plain sheet thrown over it, and nothing on the walls really. Just fairly empty in this room so far.
But it looks like it's lived in, like somebody lives there.
Go ahead and give me an investigation check.
13.
13. You looking around, you feel confident. Like everything's kind of covered in like a layer of dust, and it seems like it hasn't really been disturbed in some time.
Okay. Well, can I, like, as I'm looking around, I'm like visualizing this space being used for like over here is gonna be where the fight will happen. Everyone's gonna stand around like this, and then we'll take bets over here, and like this is how we'll get people in. I'm looking for like a side entrance, like just kind of planning it all out in my head. And then once I have like a solid idea of what I think is a good idea, I'll go back to the group.
Okay. Yeah, so looking around, this is definitely like kind of like if they had a townhouse that was, I guess, like 2 townhouses kind of connected in the middle. But it's a simple home, nothing crazy or special, but there is a few bedrooms and a few open areas, but like I mentioned, it's kind of like um completely bordered by either other buildings or the town wall towards the back, so there isn't like really any other side entrances. All there really is the handful of windows towards the front of the building and the main door. So not super ideal for any of those, like for any like quick getaways. Walking upstairs, there's like 3 rooms, I believe, and kind of a walkway, and you do see that there's a window with the shutters that, peeking out, undoing the shutter and opening it. It does connect to that wooden walkway that goes to a rounded, kind of cylindrical building across the way. But it seems like that window is kind of locked off. Like they've sealed that window so nobody could use that to get into whatever building is across the way.
Okay. And then at the part of the like at the back of the building where it's connected to the wall, um how far from the top of the building to the wall?
Like if you climbed out and stood on top of the roof and was looking up towards the wall, you'd still probably have a good 15 feet. These are very tall walls and really speak to the fortification and longevity of this city.
Okay.
But yeah, about 15 feet above the building itself.
All right. Yeah, I have all the information I need, I think.
All right. And do you just go back out that window you had came in?
No, I go out through the top because I presumably went out to look at from the roof up above. So,
Sure. And it is pretty awesome because like standing up on this walkway up here, you can like look out on the right and see the markets and the bay and some of the various ships that are docked in this um harbor and the bay that expands from out there. And even though you kind of have this wall uh, blocking off a whole like 180 of your view, there still is beauty of seeing the bay and the ocean out here, and but also looking over the city and even in the distance Castle Clay and kind of uh background with the background of the mountains behind it. But yeah, even though you've made your way through this home and it seems like it's not very that it was lived in but hasn't been in some time, you make your way out onto that top walkway and savor the view and can jump down, climb however you want, and go about whatever you're wanting to do.
all right. Yeah, I mean, I'll just climb down and then go on back to the group.
For fun, give me a dexterity check. Let's see how successfully you climb down off of this walkway.
Dead, 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 dead.
Well,
All right, you got a +4. I'll give you that. Yeah, so even though you almost slip at first, you do kind of parkour off the side of the building and kick off and save yourself and kind of land on your feet and stand up and go about your way. Cutting back to you guys at the Painful Pigeon. Are you guys just still enjoying the drink and food in the meantime?
So you don't think he's serious about this fight club thing, do you? Like, that's just... He was just joking, right?
Mm, I, I think he's actually pretty serious about it.
I don't see it generating much of a revenue, really. I don't really know too much about it, I guess.
Yeah, before coming here to Terva, I fought in a fighting ring for many years. Yeah, yeah. It's it's hard to get.
About
Yeah.
this time, Ragnar, you can come back into the tavern and work your way back to your friends at the bar.
I found the perfect place. We don't even have to pay for it.
Well, I'm pretty sure somebody probably still owns the building.
Well, why would we care about that? We can just throw a rope down from the top of the wall, and then we will have an escape route if things go badly.
You mean the wall that's patrolled by guards?
Yes, we'll find a way to be sneaky about the rope.
You know, I am not particularly sneaky. I, I,
I'm
Yeah,
sneaky.
I don't know about that, Ragnar.
I,
I
I,
am very sneaky.
I draw so much attention. Not just because I'm my lack of stealth, but I'm also quite large. And in case you haven't noticed, I'm a fucking minotaur.
Well, I mean, I wasn't going to comment.
Yeah, you weren't.
I wonder how much it would cost to hire someone to construct like a legitimate fighting ring, maybe perhaps somewhere outside of town where there's more room.
See, I was thinking that we would gather together a group of people and then maybe pool there. But I like where you're coming from. Out
I
of town.
I I
Like a festival.
yeah, well, I don't. Bovag, you're the fighting ring expert. How much space would we need exactly?
Well, the ring itself can be whatever size you want it to be. You know, the bigger you make it, the bigger the fights can be. But that also costs more money.
I was thinking that this would be a great way for you to get out some aggression, Bovag. We
Mm,
could have you fight the most powerful warriors in Clayshire.
yeah, and when I beat them all,
Then hopefully warriors from the rest of the world would come.
we'll think about it. Let's go meet Osduck and see what he might have for us.
Well, I also wonder if we need a little bit more money in this business venture, if maybe the guild would put up the rest of it, or at least some. Uh, we could find out.
They're a little tight with the purse strings, if you know what I mean. Not particularly willing to spend that kind of money.
Not
Right.
even on something as sure a bet as you in fighting?
Well, if they're wanting to put down roots in this area, I would think having a legitimate business would be something of interest.
Legitimate
Mm,
business.
The
Blasphemy.
business is usually just a front to house our operatives
And
while
what better
they're.
front than a fighting ring? Seems like it would be a good base of operations for the guild in this area.
I would think so. Maybe we can buy some acreage, get some land.
Yeah, but to do that, we have to go talk to Lord Clay. He owns it all.
Why did you say that like that? It sounded like it was capitalized. Like Lord Clay. That's very important sounding.
Yeah, because he is important.
Well, I
Lords
guess
If
that
he
usually
wanted,
are.
if he wanted to, he could just put our heads on pikes and call it a day, and no one would say anything.
he could not catch us.
Mm,
Valric is very
Again,
sneaky.
Yeah, because he's small. I, on the other hand, am very large.
Well, yes, he would catch you. Everyone
Yeah.
else would be fine, though.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right.
What, can
Yeah.
he teleport? Can you teleport?
No, but I'm pretty sure you can only teleport so many times. And it might be hard with broken kneecaps.
No, I don't think the kneecaps would affect teleporting.
Yeah, you're right. How about I just slit your throat?
That would make it much harder to teleport. Although I think I could still do it if I had to.
Bovak's just going to stand up and start heading out and head towards the Darkwing Duck Tavern.
Yeah. Actually, go
Super
ahead.
heavily.
Everybody, give me Constitution saving throws who drank profusely. So definitely Bovag and Valric. How much wine did you have, Azura?
Just a glass.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you're fine. Ragnar, did you chug it in between?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
All right, go ahead
Right.
and. Oh, did you roll also?
Oh, God.
I did.
Bovak drank a lot.
Is that 21 yours, Ragnar?
Ragnar. Yes.
Okay, cool. Just making sure. Yeah, so Ragnar and Valric, you guys are feeling a buzz. You got like a little tingle on your lips. You're feeling loose, but you're keeping your balance. You're moving well. You're keeping your composure. I'm sorry, Bovag, what was your roll again?
Total 8.
Bovag, you went hard. You were a little frustrated, and you were taking it out on the tankard.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. Balling
also,
hard in
before
the
you
paint.
guys leave, you might want to close your tab. And the barmaid would mention something before you leave, but you're definitely a little wobbly, and like you're just a big like slow motion leaning tower to everybody around you. But you're keeping yourself up, but you're having a little trouble. And just for everything, it's just another 10 gold, however you wanted to do it. But
I'll get it all.
and yeah, you guys start working your way out, and it is, let me move this forward. Oops, there we go. Sure. Give me a perception check. Even though you did well, with the disadvantage because you're still drank. Chrome.
I'm also going to leave a tip for the barmaid.
She thanks you very, very much. You guys were still very respectful, even though you gorged yourselves.
Yeah, 5 gold.
19. No, I'm sorry, 13. Sure, yeah, 13. Looking around, nobody. I mean, other than the turning heads of Bovag moving anywhere and catching everybody's attention, nobody seems to be like tailing him or following him as you guys are working your ways out into the street. At this point, the sun's starting to set. You got like a little bit longer till it does, a little bit more light, but at this point, lanterns and torches are starting to light up around town and preparing for the nightfall. And you guys start working your way kind of around the outside edge of the market here, kind of this way, working your way down to the Dark Shark Tavern down at the southern end of town. Anything you guys want to do on your way, or just go ahead and go straight to the tavern?
Bovak's just going straight to the tavern.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So you
trying.
you guys are, handling it well. I don't know what your marching order is, but Bovag's definitely a little wobbly, but he's keeping course. And you guys see before you the large 2-story building. It's a square kind of U shape in its design, bridged in the middle by a raised wood patio. One of the ramshackled wooden walkways arches overhead in connection to the balcony of the tavern on the to the building across the street. The tavern stands out with its dark but vibrant blue roof that still kind of catches the light even as the sun's setting. Capped a well-lit and vibrant building, the upbeat music and cheers and chatter echoing from the interior. As you guys enter the warmly lit but loud interior, these people are drinking and feasting everywhere you look, and it's fairly crowded. The atmosphere is cheery, and it's hard to get any clear understanding of what the festivities are for, but there is definitely no denying that there's an energy felt between as you're like weaving between the bodies of all these people, making your way into this tavern. It's definitely a little nicer. Walking in here, it's definitely kind of the better kept one. And maybe it's just because they have a little bit more business being right there at the southern gates, but it's definitely a little bit nicer and well kept than the Painful Pigeon. And this liveliness of whatever is going on with all these people is definitely adding to the fact that they probably do a little better.
They have a musician.
Yes, there is a few bards playing kind of like in that U shape of the building. It's kind of like towards the middle, but there is a small raised platform, maybe 10 foot by 10 foot, where 3 musicians are playing very lively and upbeat music as everybody's kind of dancing and moving around. Are you guys looking for a table or just trying to work your way through this crowd and just move on? Try to find someplace. At the moment, you don't see Ozlith as you guys are trying to move through this crowd of hyper people. You don't see him yet.
I'm gonna grab a drink then.
Gotcha. And you kind of like are pushing your way towards the bar, kind of pushing people aside, trying to get it, not like shoving, but get up to the bar to grab a drink. And it takes a minute, but you eventually can get served whatever you're looking for.
Bovag will look for a table, preferably like in a corner.
Sure. Yeah, even you, Bovag, who's used to people kind of parting for you everywhere, either from fear or awe, you have to kind of maneuver through the fever celebrations because nobody seems to be paying too much attention to even be moving
I'm not
out
going
of your
to
way.
attempt to maneuver. I'm just going to bowl through people if they won't get out of my way.
Oh, sure. And they're bumping into you, you're bumping into them. It's happening. But you eventually navigate to a table off on one of those outcrop sides with one nearly passed out drunkard sitting there, which takes little effort to shoo out of his seat as he's kind of clambering across the floor to get up. You all can sit and wait for Ozlith's arrival or wander about the tavern or anything else you'd like to do now.
Bovag will push that guy out of his seat. Say, move.
And he hits the ground with a thud and just slowly starts getting up and wanders away, not even questioning or fighting. And you find a table with, like 5 or 6 seats there, empty. This guy was the only one there. But yeah, you have a seat.
When I go to grab my drink, I just want to ask the bartender, are you always this busy? This seems like a special celebration.
Yeah. Apparently news of King Alaric has caught up to us down here, and apparently he really is back. So everybody here celebrating the news of his return.
That is great excitement here. This
Yes.
is a very good thing.
Yeah, long live the king.
Long live the king.
And he quickly just goes off and helps somebody else because everybody's demanding it at the bar.
So when I sit down at the table, like, they're celebrating a king. Yes. They're celebrating the return of the king.
Heard of the king.
I think I've heard that story.
Alaric. I've heard this name before. I think.
You guys have heard, the rumors and rumblings of, because even the Vikings, Sigvald had mentioned that he had heard that he was crowned high chieftain of the Viking tribes, but even then he was like, that's a big claim, and for a guy who's been dead for 30 years. Oh, sorry, one sec. There we go. Sorry, my headset came undone. But yeah, but it was all kind of like rumors, and we'll see. We're heading back up there anyway, and we'll see what's going on. But yeah, these people seem to be celebrating some other news, probably not Viking related, but there's some other return that they're talking about.
While they're having this conversation, Bovag will push his way up to the bar.
Sure, you get up and start parting this sea of people and push your way up to the bar, and within a shorter amount of time standing out, you get a bartender who comes up and acknowledges you. Hi, what can I help you, or what can I get for you?
Can I get 2 casks of ale over to my table, please?
Sure, that'll just run you about 12 gold, but yeah, we can do that.
All right, and
We'll see
then
what we have left.
if you can just bring, some food as well. I don't care what the fuck you bring me.
Aye, gotcha. I'll open a tab for you and get back with you. But he'll make his way to start getting your alcohol.
All right, then I'll walk back to the table and inform them that we got swindled at the other tavern. I really don't like that owner of the other tavern, guys.
Why? What did he do?
So, do you know what they charged me here for 2 casks of ale?
What?
12 gold. Do you know how much I got charged at that paltry pigeon?
There was 10 gold there, wasn't it?
Yeah, for 1.
That is not a good deal.
Yeah. I wouldn't be upset if somehow that place got ran out of business. I'm not going to say how.
Are you telling me I can do something?
What if we were to
Set it on fire.
I don't like the sound of this.
I wasn't going to say set it on fire. I was going to say we hire away all his help. We give them a large lump sum, and then it's just him all by himself. And then he can't handle the load. He has to leave the business. Then we take it.
What if he...
Yeah, but he's going to lose so much business.
What if he hires them quickly? We have to do something.
I'm not afraid to stand outside the door and tell people to get fucking lost.
Around this time, you guys get your casks brought to the table and set up, and multiple tankards brought out, and multiple plates of some beef and deer, like, and salted and dried meats and fish. Plenty of fish brought out to you, and you definitely got a decent setup now.
Ragnar just like kind of is staring at the venison with this really strange look on his face. What if we used the food?
What?
No. What if we used the food at the pigeon to ruin them?
We call the health inspector.
Are you saying you want to put poison in the food?
Not bad poison. Something that makes people shit. Or that makes the food smell and taste terrible. Or that attracts a lot of rats. And bugs. Azora, do you know any pestilence magic?
As he says that, I use prestidigitation to make his food taste awful.
You asked the question to go to take a bite of this meat, and it just tastes like it's like weeks old, like disgusting.
Yes, exactly. Exactly like that. Yes.
And so about this time, you see Ozlith's kind of tiny human form squeeze through all these people, or I'm sorry, half-elven form, squeeze through the bodies nearby, and squats quickly into his seat, nearly falling out of it. He's like, yes, maybe a tavern wasn't the best idea on my part, but at least it's all in some good news for once. Have you all heard yet?
Something about the king. He did something. He's back.
Yeah, the celebrations about King Alaric Kane. He's returned, and apparently yesterday he arrived in Bryn Shander and has met with some of the leaders of that city and some of the other surrounding major cities today, and to solidify their alliance under his crown. So it's what were rumors floating around for a hot minute is proven true, and he arrived in Bryn Shander with a small fleet of Viking longships and seems to be their de facto leader. Whatever he's planning, he's building a massive alliance from Norskia. But people down here are optimistic with some renewed hope, finally, that he might be returning back to his homeland to fight off the Reich now that they're working their way down, which hasn't been very good news as they've been taking some of the cities, working their way south towards Nordensgrad. But regardless, it's good news in the meantime.
So, he is your king of Clayshire.
King Alaric his whole domain was the whole northern and southern kingdoms of the human kingdoms, all of Aquilonia, all of the southern separate lordships, all under his rule. And but when he had gone missing about 30 years ago, the different kingdoms kind of separated and slowly fell into chaos, and eventually a man named Stennis took the crown by force, and he had ruled for some time until the gold dragon Arthur had killed him. Meanwhile, the Iron Reich, they took over the northern kingdom of the Aquilonian kingdom, and with their zealotry have kind of ruled with an iron fist. But now apparently they've killed Arthur himself and are marching down to take these southern lands too. So people are hoping that Alaric is going to eventually come down here and fend them off. But just a few days ago, they had taken Castle Mordred, and it's only a matter of time till they take the Lion's Fort and make their way to Nordensgrad itself. So, I guess we'll just see what happens there.
Ovag,
Well,
how much do you want to kill things?
mm,
Enough to go to war?
I've already fought in one war.
We know where an army will be. Mercenaries make good money.
Ragnar, have you ever been in a full pitched battle
No.
between two massive armies clashing?
Not since I was a boy.
Yeah, it's the exact spot you don't want to be. A stray arrow, your buddy's axe, anything can kill you. You hear the
Thundering
scream.
of hooves.
You hear the smell alone is just. I never want to fight in one of those again.
And if it helps, the money's much better in private mercenary work anyway. I wouldn't go to join some war when you can at least help make more money and do more good here in the guild, honestly.
Speaking of that, Ozless, you said you
Yes.
might have some work for us.
Anyway, because I am fantastic at my job, I've got the hookup for you all on 4 contracts. You can take as many as you or as few as you think you can handle, but honestly, I recommend not overdoing it. Don't stretch yourself too thin. Plus, I like having a little something left for some of the other journeymen that walk through here. And with that, he is going to pull this out on the table, and we'll go. Oh no, it canceled this. We need more upbeat music. So. Oops, wrong one. There we go. All right, so he pulls out these sheets of paper and sets them out one by one, giving you all a moment to actually look them over. Oh yeah. Now it took me a minute to, check in and get some of these jobs and actually get them certified with the guild, but we have a few jobs ready. We got one job for missing people. One person in particular, the client Ellen had contracted for her friend who had gone missing just yesterday afternoon. But there's a chance it could be related to a few other missing people recently. If you're looking to kill some creatures, you can go down to the southern graveyard. Apparently some ghouls and ghasts had moved in and were feasting on the corpses nearby and, attacking local farmers and anybody who had came in, the groundskeeper. But honestly, the biggest complication from them being there is awakening some of the angry skeletons and spirits and whatnot from the graveyard. And while they're not actually attacking any of the ghouls and ghasts that woke them, it's created a real clusterfuck here in the graveyard, and the city guard is willing to pay for it to have some people go in and fix it before things get a little rough. We also have a local jeweler who had contracted for the retrieval of a meteor just south of, I think, maybe, or yeah, a few miles down south of Clayshire, out of town, up in the mountains, um, putting a hefty reward on its return or on its retrieval. Um, and then we also have over here, a local trader was killed recently, and one of his trading or trader buddies had mentioned or had reported this and is willing to pay for anybody to find his supposed murderer, and as he fears there's some other merchants have been killed recently, possibly by the same person, and whether to protect himself or to protect other people, he's contracted to look into this murder. But at least I have these 4 jobs at the moment. Whatever you guys are looking for. You have any questions about any of these jobs in particular?
You know, guys. 2 of these specifically are in the south. One is the graveyard. Sounds like easy work to me. And the meteor as well.
Ozleth kind of chuckles and he's like, if you think it'll be easy, you haven't seen the clusterfuck that is that graveyard right now. It is a mess. Not doubting you guys' abilities, but it's a little bit more than the cleanup crew. Or else I promise you those southern guards would have already moved in and taken care of it.
It's killing. It's what Bovek does. The other ones would require Bovek to have tact. No offense.
I think we can retrieve a meteor with no tact.
Well, yes, that's what I'm saying. That's why you don't want to investigate the murder, because you wouldn't be able to torture the civilians.
Well, that's what you say.
I mean, it's just true. Well, you could torture them, but you're not supposed to. It's against the rules, I think. Right?
Whose rules?
Ozleth kind of like looks at Bovek and he's like, I mean, if it gets the job done and the local guard doesn't find out about it, then the job gets done.
How would the local guard not find out about it? But you mean that people would just say, oh, okay, it was just the giant minotaur. He just came into my house and broke my kneecaps. It's fine. I'm not going to tell my local guard about this at all, because why would I do that? But of course they're going to tell the guard. We can't. This is silly.
They tell the guard, then I go back and break boards in their kneecaps.
See,
you got to be good at the interrogating. That's why. Yeah.
I think we should just do the discovery contract and the monster hunt, like you said. It's a good plan. Well,
Sure. Sure. I mean, being honest with you, you'd have to talk to the client himself, the jeweler, and see if he's willing to part with some of it, or maybe reduce the reward, maybe. But at least the contract itself is for the entire meteor brought back for him. But you might be able to work something out.
How are we supposed to bring back an entire meteor? Is he coming with us with a cart?
You
just watch me carry that giant shell all the way down the mountain, across a gorge.
Like, I just
if that meteor was anywhere near the size of that shell, then it'd be the largest chunk of star metal ever discovered by like 5-fold. I doubt it's going to be anything like that. This metal's kind of rare. Normally, I mean, anytime I've heard it falling is maybe a ball-sized, most a meter by, meter around, but nothing that big. Heavy, though. Well, like I said, I'd maybe try to stock up on stuff for some of the more supernatural and weird shit. Just because that graveyard sounds like a whole fucking mess. Um, but as far as the meteor, I, all I really know about all this is that he's a just jeweler wanting to as far as I understand, he wants to make something super nice so he could finally propose to a longtime love of his and use the rest to make some other fine jewelry to help fund their whatever future he's got planned for him. So you might be able to talk him out of getting some of it, but it seems like he has a plan for most of the meteor, but you can definitely talk to him about it. And like I said, that's 25 miles south of here, roughly. But the graveyard is literally just outside the southern gate. So at least you can hit that. Well, if you think you can even wrap it up quickly, it's a decent sized graveyard, and I can't understate how much of a fucking mess I've heard this place is right now. It's even restricting some of the southern trade just because, especially at night, that they seal the gates completely for fear of any of them trying to break in.
Have you heard number-wise what we might be looking at?
Dozens, for sure. But again, this is like dozens of mixed. Now they have fucking skeletons, and some people are even saying they saw fucking ghosts there, and on top of the numerous ghouls. Ugh. And the most fucked up thing is, now that there's no graveyard to put the bodies of any fresh dead, we've had to put them inside the walls. But because of that, now they smell the corpses and are trying to climb the walls and get in through the gates to get to the corpses we can't dispose of. It's a fucking mess.
Burn the
That's
bodies.
do what?
Burn the bodies.
In town? It'd be fucking we'd be better off just I think they should just fucking throw the corpses over the wall and just give them to the ghouls at this point. If it keeps them from going over the wall, but hey, I'm not the fucking guard.
Pet ghouls.
Well, again, I just do the contract as they come in, but you can definitely talk to the captain of the guard, of the Southern Guard, Peyton. You might be able to negotiate a little bit higher wage, and scout it out even. Actually, he's probably going to be stationed at the southern walls anyway to deal with all this mess. You might be able to maybe scale the wall, or meet with him and get a view on the graveyard itself, see what you're dealing with.
Well, I got nothing better to do.
All right. Well, yeah, if you guys are wanting, then he can hand off the two contracts you guys are interested in.
Maybe we should just do the one contract for now. The graveyard. I
Well,
want to kind of lean into Valric, and I'm like, if you want that star medal, we don't have to accept that contract, and we can still go get it.
if it helps, you could still take the contract for the monster hunt. The captain of the guard has put out kind of a general posting as well. So, I mean, there will probably be other people trying to get to clear out the graveyard, but we'll see if any are even successful. I haven't heard of many volunteers at the moment.
You know, Azura is right, Valric. We could clear out this graveyard and then book it to get that meteor for you.
Yeah, it's not like it's not great for business overall if the client thinks that they were like put this job out there just for somebody else to take it, especially the people they contracted for it. So like as you guys are discussing this, Oslith is just kind of like, look, if this is really more important, or you think just leave the name, leave Dawn's Hammer out of it, and but honestly, I'm not gonna be too hurt if some jeweler doesn't get his precious rocks. But like I said, keep it on the DL.
Yeah, how's he even want to fucking know?
Just don't
Well-
bring it back to me, and you'll be good.
It's a small town.
It's a big damn.
I mean, yeah. At the end of the day, as long as they don't know it, that we
If
turned
Oslith,
on
if
him.
you still hold the contract, technically it's still open. Technically, we didn't accept the contract. We just happened to find this meteor.
Works for me, and he'll take the contract and roll it up, and says, "Hey, I didn't hear anything. If you don't say nothing." Yeah, no problem.
Perhaps we should get a good night's sleep before we go find out about this graveyard.
What the can I do a survival check possibly there to know if going at night is a better option?
Sure. Yeah,
Or
go
us?
ahead and make a survival check.
I know fucking nothing. I'm still drunk. 10.
You wouldn't exactly know 100%, but if they're talking about ghosts and shit, like from your perspective, you're like, well, I mean, I'd say fucking going at night probably isn't a great idea, but in your mind, you're like, but you know, you might be able to get the jump on them, but you kind of figure that just out of like, I don't know, reputation or whatever, that maybe fighting ghosts at night might be less advantageous for you.
All right, I'm just going to keep drinking then.
All right.
So I won't say anything.
Could I try a religion check for like ghosts, like to see how the spirits tie? I don't know.
Sure.
I'm grabbing straws here.
Yeah, go ahead. You can make a religion check. Dirty 20. You would know that technically there isn't like any real downsides as far as you know of to fighting a ghost at night versus during the day. Now let me double check one thing, because I don't technically think they have like a daylight sensitivity, but that's what I'm looking for real quick. Yeah, as far as you know, even some of these like undead creatures, even though they don't like the light, and you would know that ghouls tend to roam together at night in packs, and kind of stick together and kind of burrow at night to avoid the light. They're definitely not a fan, but it's not like, attacking them during the night is giving them more advantages. It's more just that's when they're most active is nighttime. and they kind of hide and die down a little bit during the day.
Well, it's probably better to go in the day anyway. More advantageous for us.
Any other questions or anything you guys might have for Osla? All right. He'll also just kind of bring up so one very important matter is you two, indicating towards Azora and Ragnar. So who are you both, and why are you wanting to join Dawn's Hammer? Normally I do this a little sooner, but with the company of the two well-spoken for journeymen as Valric and Bovag, I'm willing to excuse some formality, but regardless, I must ask, how about you, Norskian? What's your story?
Well, I am Norskin. I was a navigator, and not a very good one. And my ship was ambushed by the undead. It was destroyed as a result of my attempt to escape. On that ship, my crew and my mentor died.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Shortly after that, I found these. Gesture at my friends. And with their help, we worked the job together. A job that I found. I am not sure about joining Dawn's Hammer. But I do know that I will fight alongside Bovag and Valric. So, if they are with you, then I am with you.
Good to know. And what of you? I'm not sure. Are you a cleric of some kind? I mean, no offense, but some of the work we all do here can be a bit of a morally gray area, sometimes black.
Well, you see, I'm actually kind of already in the guild. That was my first. We just did my first assignment. Because I took my brother's spot.
Well, who initiated you?
That was down south, more closer to home.
Make a deception check.
Am I lying or?
Yeah, I mean, technically, you didn't really join the guild. I don't think so. You just kind of took up I mean, I could be wrong. I thought you took up the mantle of kind of the bread maker and going out to adventure and make money. But I don't think you've technically been initiated into the guild or anything. Because technically the job you guys made with or did was contracted by Will, not from the guild or anything. And with this, Ozlith will say, until you've worked a few contracts with the guild itself, you probably haven't, I don't think you've been initiated. Now, how that normally works, we work on a bit of a loyalty system here, and as initiates, you would be taken under the wing of these two trusted journeymen to train you in our ways, and as you complete contracts for the guild, and doing this and helping us expand gains trust with us, and you can get promoted up the chain. And as you earn higher ranks within the guild, you're trusted with more equipment and resources that we can offer to help you do more contracts and whatnot. And as you do more work for me, I get a little bit more money to use to get you more equipment and resources. So it's a little bit of a win-win on our part. But so if you're interested, we can make you initiates, and as you're doing jobs and working alongside Valric and Bovag, you can keep benefiting from the perks of the guild.
And what does it cost us?
There is normally a membership fee of 10 silver a month.
Very well. But they're not asking for our souls this time, Azora.
Well, and no pressure if you don't feel completely. You can still work this job with Valric and Bovak without feeling completely committed if you're not ready. But at least you can consider this your first real contract through the guild.
Very well.
Indicating at the that monster contract. Yeah. Let's see.
So, out of character,
Mm-hmm.
I do need to call it about 11 for me.
Oh, okay, cool. So you're about done.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. That's actually a decent stopping point, and it looks like my baby just woke up anyway, so I'm gonna have to get her. So that kind of works out. So we can call it there. As far as so you guys can once you're done talking with Ozlith, you can prepare and rest for the night and everything. One thing that we'll probably touch on at the start of the next session is Wilhelm getting back with you guys. He will still plans on reaching out that day, and I was going to do that before you guys went to bed, but honestly, this is a good stopping point, and before your characters go to bed next session, we'll start with him messaging you. All right.
Julia. Thanks, man.
Yeah, of course. Great game, guys.